What's good, YouTube? We back for another video, man. Before I get into it, man, hope you guys have been locked in. Hope you guys have been taking care of yourselves, man. Let's get it, man. So, a lot of people struggle to find purpose in life, struggle to find what makes them really happy. And I used to be one of these people as well, right? You know, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. You know, I felt stuck, right? Because all I knew at the time was just playing video games. And on top of that, I didn't really have much else to go off of because my home life was terrible, right? I mean, it kind of always has been. So I never really had any type of direction. All I knew was playing the game, right? So it's like I didn't really know anything else besides that, like I said, right? And that's what made me happy, right? Playing the game with my homies and, my online homies and stuff. And yeah, like, I don't know. I just, but truth be told, outside of playing the game, I wasn't really happy. I wasn't happy with my real life. See, I was happy playing the game because it was like a way to escape my real life, but I was never really happy with my actual life because I never achieved anything, okay? A lot of us like to blame our home life on our families, and yeah, they might have a part to play, but at the end of the day, your life is your life. So if your life sucks, that is on you, and I hate to say it, but it's true, right? You can't continue to blame your family forever that your life is the way it is, because you're going to get to the point where you have full control over your life, and whatever you decide to do with your life is on you. Okay. Don't be that type of person that could continuously blame your messed up life on other people, because I was like that as well. You know what I mean? You know, so if you really, in my personal opinion, right, if you really want to truly be happy in life, it requires you to set goals for yourself and accomplish goals that you set for yourself. I feel like that's what makes you happy. One thing, that's what has always made me happy, right? When I've set a goal and I finally achieved it after putting in hard work, okay? That's what makes me happy. I realized that me accomplishing something after putting in them hours, them days, the months, the years of hard work, that's what makes me happy, right? I finally found what makes me happy, what gives me purpose, right? Hard work, putting in that work, right? And I think that's everybody's purpose. Everybody's purpose is to work hard in whatever you want to do, right? Whatever, it doesn't matter what you want to do in life, you still have to put in the work for it. That's something I've had to realize while I've talked about it, right, in my videos, right? You cannot get by in this lifetime without working, okay? And I'm not just talking about a 9 to 5, right? I'm talking about in general. You got to put in work everywhere, all areas of your life. You have to put in work, okay? You have to put in effort. If you want your life to change, if you want your life to be better, you have to put in the work to make that happen, right? So the thing about it is that a lot of people don't want to put in that work. They want to chase the instant gratification and get what they want right now. But it's not going to happen like that, because at the end of the day, you still got to put in that work, okay? And I believe that's really the whole point of life, okay? I feel like without working, you can't really do nothing in life, because I mean, everything in life requires you to work for it. Something that my grandma always told me was that if you want something in life, no matter what it is, you got to work for it, and I stand by that. It's true, right? You can't live a life that you want without working for it. I'm sorry. If you think that the perfect dream life is gonna just fall right into your lap and you haven't done nothing for it, then you're mistaken, because you got to put in work, right? I can't just wish 40 pounds of muscle on my body without putting in that work. I can't just wish $1 million in my bank account without putting in no work. I can't wish my dream car, in my freaking parking lot or my garage, right? I can't wish a freaking penthouse, right? That has a high top, freaking the city view, whatever. I can't wish all that stuff. I have to put in the work, man. Of course, I can always pray about that stuff and I can manifest it. But at the end of the day, if I don't put in the work, it's not going to come. Okay? People think that getting stuff like this is impossible. And I thought, and I think maybe at one point I thought it was too. I thought that there's certain, that I'm in a position to where I can't be like these top tier successful people. But then I saw with my own two eyes my dream car right in front of me in my city, in my gym. I literally saw it right in my gym. Like my McLaren 750S, it wasn't a McLaren 750S, but it was a 570, right? But the fact that I saw a real life McLaren, a supercar, basically the closest thing to my dream car, that car is like 200,000, and I could best believe bro didn't rent that, because even renting it is expensive, because you have to pay either way it goes. It still costs money, right? The car is not cheap, but that car cost six figures, six fucking figures just to buy. 100, 200K, 300. It goes for like 200-300K, bro. And I saw it with my own two eyes. I still got the picture. I even put it as one of my thumbnails in one of my videos. Y'all go look at it. But I saw it with my own two eyes, man. And that's when I realized that, man, this shit is possible. Because at the end of the day, these people that you see that are successful, they were just like us at one point. They were regular people. They are still regular people. They just put in the work. It's nothing special about them. Not in like a bad way, but I mean like they didn't have any special genetics or special attention or special resources to get where they were. At least most of them, right? They literally started just like how we did, as a regular person that probably went to a regular school, that probably started off working a regular job, but they put in that extra work to get where they want. They had a goal and they put in that extra work to achieve that goal, and now they're on top. Now they got status. Now they're rich. Now they're in the best shape possible. People think that this shit is impossible. It's not. Starting a business, it's not impossible. It works. Back in 2024, I was in my entrepreneurship phase. And what I mean by that is I was kind of more so focused on doing side hustles and starting business. Like I was hustling. Like I really had that hustle mindset. I was doing everything. I was reselling, I was drop shipping, I even had a little clothing brand. That didn't really do nothing, but I tried everything in the books, man. I even invested a little bit too. And I remember that I seen people be successful off of drop shipping, off of reselling, and all type of stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, I could do this shit too. So I did. I tried it. I didn't get no results for a long time. And guys, that devastated me. I didn't get no results for a long time. Like, I put in a lot of work and a lot of effort, but I didn't get nowhere. But you want to know something, guys? I didn't give up. I stayed consistent. I stayed disciplined. Because the reality of it is that you're not going to create a successful business in one day or overnight. So I stayed consistent. I might have lost money, but I stayed consistent at it. And I kept researching and I kept putting in that work. And guess what? After, I don't even know how long, y'all, probably after like 2 months, maybe 2 months, 3 months of consistently putting, I ain't gonna say that, maybe it wasn't that long, probably after a month straight of just putting in that work, I eventually got sales, man. I got sales. for the first time. I was chilling and I ended up getting that Shopify sound, bro, for the first fucking time ever. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God. And I remember how happy I was to hear that sound. I think every business person's dream is to hear that fucking sound, that ka-ching sound, bro, that Shopify sound, bro. I even took a picture when I got my first sale, and I was so proud of myself. I was so happy because it's like I did it. I finally did it, and it's like I was so happy, y'all. Like, it was crazy. I was so happy. And I made my first $60 on strictly online. Strictly online. And I was proud of myself. I mean, is that a lot of money? No. But I did it. I did something that I thought wasn't possible. Because guys, before that, I wasn't getting nothing for a long time. Probably like for a month straight, 2 months straight. I didn't get anything. But I kept going and I kept putting in that work. And you want to know something? I got it. And guess what? When I got it, I was the happiest I've ever been. And I realized what actually gave me purpose. What gave me happiness is that when I set a goal for myself and I finally achieve it or reach it, I get so freaking happy for that. And I think that's what my true happiness is. That's why I always set goals for myself for this year, for every year. Because when I know that I put in the work that whole year to achieve that goal and I finally achieve it, I am so happy. That makes me so happy, y'all. So the thing about finding true happiness, man, is that if you're trying to look for it, you're not going to find it, okay? I think happiness comes from being proud of where you are and how, and being proud of where you are and how, and realizing how far you came, okay? That's where happiness comes from. See, a lot of people aren't happy with their current situation. They're not happy because they didn't work for anything. They didn't achieve anything, right? You know, they can't look back and be like, wow, I came a long way. No, right? That's why a lot of people aren't happy, because they're so focused on chasing more, but they're not realizing that they came a long way from where they were, right? I'm gonna give y'all a perfect example, right? Fitness, right? Of course, I'm not there yet, but I did come a long way. I ain't gonna say a long way, but I did come a little ways from when I first started working out. You know, I might have been inconsistent. I started off working out, doing push-ups and sit-ups in my room, right? I was very small, right? I was barely 120, you know, and now, guys, I'm 140 something, right? I'm 140 something. So I basically put on 20 pounds of lean mass in a year because I lean bulked and I did it slowly. And I plan on adding another extra 20 pounds to my frame for this year, okay? You know what I mean? And then I'm gonna cut. But even though I look at myself and I still feel small, I sometimes, if I ever get discouraged, I have to go and look at my old videos. But see, when it comes to physiques, right, I feel like as long as I still feel like I'm small, then I'm going to not be satisfied. And honestly, if you're not satisfied or you're not happy, that means you got more work you got to do. You know what I mean? You're not going to be happy all the time. And I think it's a good thing, because it could help you put in more work. Because, you know, when it comes to stuff like physiques and making money, that's like something you can't be satisfied in. You know, sometimes you want to always strive for more when it comes to that, but never forget where you came from, though. You know, and once you get to that point always, you know, be proud of your achievement. And that's what's really going to bring you true happiness, man, in my personal opinion, you know? So, I mean, the fact that I was able to put on 20 pounds of lean mass, you know, like most of that was muscle, I'm pretty sure. But I mean, I came a long way. Because guys, before then I was a stick. And the reason why was because I didn't have a job. I couldn't afford food. And my fam, or, you know, in my home situation, I really couldn't. I had to basically take care of myself, okay? Basically, you know, I didn't have nobody cooking for me or fixing me food. I had to kind of take care of myself. So, you know, I had to boss up, give me a job, give me a better job where I could actually afford food for myself. And when I did that, now I'm able to, excuse me, I'm able to put on size. So I'm glad to see that I was able to put on 20 pounds of lean mass, right? But now my goal is to put on another 20 pounds of lean mass, if I can do that, another 20 pounds, right? To where I could be like 160. So that's the goal. But yeah, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. Hope you guys learned something from it, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man. And yeah, I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.